Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Right now at 5, more money for those who suddenly have found themselves unemployed in this crisis. The relief Governor Gavin Newsom announced last night that could show up in weekly benefits as soon as this weekend.
Meantime, more money for small businesses in limbo. We'll tell you what Republicans and Democrats are fighting over that's holding up that bill.
Another unintended side effect of new restrictions, recovery relapse. For recovering addicts, being forced into isolation can have some dire consequences. We'll talk to a local addiction center about how to cope. This is Friday, April 10th, 2020. Good morning. It is 5 a.m. on this finally Friday. Great to have you with us. And we're coming to you from all over Kern County. And yes, Kevin, explain what's going on with your head right now.
Well, I have been in my house and haven't really left in like 4 weeks. I haven't had a haircut, and it was bothering me. And I saw on the Today Show, Carson Daly was going to get a haircut. His stylist was going to guide him through it. So I thought I would try the same thing. Let me just say I'm not a hairstylist. So the big question is, did I dive right in? Did I just do a little bit? Was there mistakes?
Or was it just you forgot to wake up early and do your hair? Was that it?
There you go. That's what it is. That's why I've got the towel on the head. So we're going to talk more about this whole charade coming up in just a little bit. But the more important thing is, if you can get away from having a towel on my head, your forecast, and really take me serious here. Yesterday we hit 59 degrees in Bakersfield. It wasn't bad, but we were still well below our normal of 73. Our record 97 set back in 1989. And we did get some rain, and you can see here on the satellite and radar right now still some light showers still remain. And in fact, Alex Fisher said as he was coming in, he could actually see some lightning in the clouds. Nothing being picked up on our lightning detectors, but hey, he saw it, so that's the best proof you can get, right? Here's a look at our 24-hour rain totals, and you can see Meadowsfield under a quarter of an inch, so lesser amounts yesterday than the previous days. 3/10 out in Taft, Delano, about a quarter of an inch, and then for Tehachapi, about a quarter of an inch, over a half an inch for Lake Isabel and Fraser Park, over half an inch as well, and we're not expecting a lot today. So let's take a look at April rain totals. 2.5 inches of rain. We are up over 2 inches for the month. And when we take a look at the water year, 6.92 inches in the rain gauge, so we are up over an inch. So all these numbers really nice to see. 50 degrees in Bakersfield right now with a west-northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the temperatures for today, we will rise into the 60s. And then for the mountains, 37 in Tehachapi, a south wind at 5, visibility at 5 miles. And you can see here temperatures expected into the 40s as we go throughout the afternoon. So that's a glimpse of your forecast. I'll show you a glimpse of kind of how all this haircutting took place coming up in our next weather hit. We'll send it back to you for now.
I can't wait for that, Kev. All right, thanks so much. Your time now is 5:03, and it was another deadly day for Kern County in the fight against coronavirus. A third person has lost their life to the disease. This morning, we're expecting an update from public health officials on the coronavirus crisis in Kern. Right now, a total of 337 people have now tested positive for the novel virus in Kern. That's including 7 non-residents. More than 3,000 people have tested negative, but another big jump in pending tests. Nearly 2,400 people are still waiting for their results. That's the most we've seen since testing started. More than 6,000 people have been tested in Kern County so far. Let's take a look at how these cases break down by age, and more than half of these tests, these positive tests, 179 cases, are people between the ages of 18 and 49. That is the largest age group. Meantime, 14 children have tested positive. 93 cases are people between the ages of 50 to 64, and 44 cases are aged 65 and older. Here's a look at where these cases fall within the county. This map shows where the patients live, not necessarily where they caught the virus. 47 cases in the Valley region, 127 cases in the region known as West Bakersfield, and right now the area known as East Bakersfield has the most cases, with 136. 10 cases confirmed each in the mountains and desert communities.
The time now is 5:04, and some good news for Californians who have found themselves out of work due to the coronavirus pandemic. Governor Gavin Newsom announced yesterday that those who receive unemployment will get an extra $600 on top of their weekly benefits starting Sunday. The extra money comes as unemployment hits a record high in our state. It's part of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, a $2.2 trillion federal program also known as the CARES Act. According to the Employment Development Department, the extra payments will kick in automatically and continue for those still impacted through July 31st. There are endless challenges that stem from the COVID-19 crisis, but for those suffering from addiction, staying sober could be at the top of the list. 17's Taylor Schaub has the story.
Good morning. Dependency on drugs or alcohol is already a difficult battle in itself, but experts say with so many stuck in isolation, they may see a surge in relapses for those recovering.
35 years and about 5 months.
Scott Hume considers himself a survivor of the dreaded disease known as addiction, earning his first medallion at the age of 16.
I've been in the program and recovery field for almost 35 years now.
Now, as the president of Aspire Counseling Services, he's dedicated his life to helping others defeat their dependence.
They say that an addict in their own company, in their own mind, is not a really good idea.
But his drive to get Kern County addicts on the road to recovery has hit a snag, as those working to defeat a disease rooted in isolation are required to isolate.
Stress and anxiety tends to be, and resentments tend to be, some of our biggest offenders.
Here in Kern, COVID-19 has shut down all in-person 12-step programs, causing a surge in those recovering to relapse.
We've definitely had some more clients relapse than normal. I definitely want to say it's a problem.
But recovery programs like Aspire are not giving up. Instead, they're taking their meetings online, creating a safe space for patients to talk virtually.
Our clients are able to log into a special app, and with that app, they can connect with their counselors via the internet, virtually anytime, any day.
The center even continuing group meetings, giving these recovering addicts a way to engage, even while self-isolating. And if you or someone you know is suffering from addiction at this time, call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services hotline. That number is 1-800-662-HELP. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
5:07 now, and changes are coming to grab-and-go meals offered by the Kern High School District. KHSD says starting on Tuesday, it's stopping meal service on Fridays. Instead, it will give out extra meals on Thursdays. It also says it's working with elementary school campuses to consolidate meal sites, so it will stop offering meals at 6 high schools until further notice. Those schools are Centennial, East High, Highland, Foothill, Liberty, and Ridgeview High Schools. According to spokeswoman Erin Briscoe, these changes are all to lessen the burden on school workers and lower the risk of exposing them to the virus. Meantime, learning from home won't just be online anymore. For the rest of the school year, KETN, the local education TV station, will be airing math lessons. These are 30-minute lessons starting with kindergarten at 8:30 a.m. and ending with calculus at 4 p.m. And students will be able to call tutors during the show. You can find the full schedule plus channel listings on the superintendent website. That's kern.org. It starts next Monday.
Welcome back. The health department is telling businesses and schools they don't have to notify the public if an employee tests positive for the coronavirus. That raises the question, how much is the community entitled to know for their own safety? 17's Karen Waugh explains.
I have multiple sclerosis and I just got diagnosed with cancer. So I am one of those immunocompromised people that they talk about.
Megan Evans has 4 kids. 2 go to Centennial High. And when she went to pick up their Chromebooks last week,
there was no one there. There was like a cleaning crew, I guess.
Meal distribution had also suddenly stopped at Centennial. It made her wonder if someone at the school had gotten the virus. So we asked Kern High School District, and they said, As per guidance from Kern Public Health regarding the privacy of medical information, KHSD cannot confirm or deny that any member of our district community has tested positive for COVID-19. That's what Public Health has instructed every school district to say. So if a teacher tests positive, administrators can't notify parents, students, or staff.
If I were to know ahead of time that one of my children were exposed, I could do the precautions at my own home of quarantining myself to my room or something.
Public Health has been pretty tight-lipped when it comes to positive cases.
I don't know. I don't have that information. There's really no way for us to answer that.
Breaking information down only by age range and 5 very large multiple zip code geographical areas. A statement from Public Health read in part, the employer does not need to take separate action unless advised otherwise. An employer may not have complete and accurate information to disclose. But some employers have disclosed positive cases among their employees, like Bolthouse Farms, Albertsons, Trader Joe's, Brookdale Senior Living, the Sheriff's Office, and the state prison system. Last week, before Public Health's guidance, Standard School District also shared that someone in its community tested positive.
It didn't address who it was, whose classroom it was. It just said someone.
Evans says she just wants a generic statement like that.
I don't want the teacher or student or whoever it is to be singled out. That is not what I want at all.
Public Health says its guidance is directed by HIPAA privacy rules. But under HIPAA, there are 18 identifiers of information that can't be given out. Employer is not one of them.
It's a sad judgment call, I think.
For the health department, it's a balance to protect patient privacy and public safety. But for Evans, she says not knowing if she could have been exposed to the virus doesn't allow her to get tested or quarantine herself out of precaution.
Without being informed and me being immunocompromised, that's really scary.
In Bakersfield, Karen Hua, 17 News.
The time now is 5:23. Businesses big and small are struggling to stay afloat during the pandemic. Why financial experts believe AMC might be the next to fold.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
It's 5:26 now, and we're getting a better idea of why toilet paper has been in such short supply lately. Sales did surge more than 800% in mid-March when people started hoarding the product as the stay-at-home orders started going into effect. Toilet paper demand is typically very steady, and the handful of companies that make it have tight profit margins, so they make enough to meet the usual demand and avoid having to store bulky excess product. There's also the divide between commercial grade and home toilet paper, the plushier variety. They are made from different pulp on different machines, and the commercial grade products aren't set up to make it to store shelves. Costco is now allowing healthcare workers and first responders to cut in line. Costco says because of their integral role in fighting the coronavirus, healthcare workers, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and other first responders will be given priority access. All they have to do is present a membership card as well as their employee ID badge to receive priority access. The time now is 5:27. Coming up in our next half hour on Sunrise, stop touching your face. We've all heard the advice, but coming up, some new techniques to help you quit.